Now with One Piece chapter 944 having been dropped, the chapter being called Partner, let's take a quick look at some of the interesting things that happened in this chapter. The cover page being Boa Hancock feeding a monkey that wears a straw hat, not to be confused with Luffy of course, eating a banana, and on his shirt on one side it says Oda, and on the other side it says Mon, I'm assuming for monkey, with a picture of Luffy. Very cute, very nice little picture. And the theme in the background, the castle in the background, as well as the flowers that are blooming and trees. And the bridge, of course, too. It does seem like a Wano inspired setting, but it is not, of course. So the chapter starts off right off the bat from where we kind of left off last time, which is with Zoro and Sanji being in the midst of everything and Toko being saved by both of them. Sanji, quite frankly, he remarks that, you know what, fair enough, we shouldn't get involved here. The whole reason for the death, the whole reason for the sacrifice is so that we wouldn't get exposed. But Zoro, he doesn't take that lightly. He doesn't take the fact that the Shogun shot him lightly, that Tonoyasu is dead, and quite frankly, he decides to take charge and lunges forward while giving Toko to Sanji. X-Ray, meanwhile, goes after Sanji. They've got a little bit of a history right now, but it seems that Sanji can get away from him despite holding Toko, just showing that Sanji right now has improved a lot to the point where another supernova can't go up against him lightly. In the meantime, Zoro goes up and fights. He tries to go for the Shogun, but that just completely fails, as quite frankly Kyoshiro just gets in the way and stops Zoro in his path. It's funny to note actually that Kyoshiro is quite tall. He seems to be, I would say, 8-9 feet tall, so he's quite a tall fella. But Zoro, despite trying his best to get past him, just can't get past him, and Kyoshiro seems to be handling and matching Zoro blow for blow. And of course, mayhem happens. Mayhem always happens when the Straw Hats are around. Frankie just blocks the bullets that are being aimed at Zoro. He grabs Tonoyasu and runs for it. Usopp, in the meantime, provides backup. So does Robin and so does Nami. Meanwhile, Zoro's trying to go still after the Shogun, and then we cut away to Udon, to the prison mines, with Luffy cheering him on because of course he would be there doing this exact same thing. We have seen this in the past with Hachi and Sabaody, where Luffy would have just gone into, you know what, Zoro is doing the job for you. And unfortunately Zoro doesn't die this chapter, as a lot of theories have speculated, or should I say fortunately. But the Straw Hats cause mayhem, and then in the prison mines we find out the most shocking part of this chapter. Kiyomizu, the manslayer, is killer, who a lot of people have been speculating and wondering where he's been. Well, here he is, and it turns out that Kid was caught again, probably out of lack of frustration, or should I say probably due to frustration, that his old comrade in arms, his old partner, is now just smiling and laughing and seems to be under the control of Orochi in one way or another. Unfortunately, last chapter's discussion about the smile and whatnot have come true, and you know what? Killer is now part. He's now part of it all. He is now smiling and he can't stop it, and the more he smiles, the more Kid just can't take it. And you know what? It's a sad sight, but it also spells potentially it also spells a way out, because it could be the case where it can be reversed. The smile side effect can be reversed. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that would work. I think there are two ways it could potentially go. One would be law. We've seen previously what he can do with poison specifically. Maybe he can somehow like go into the DNA and reverse the smile side effects that way. Or another way could be Vegapunk. I've seen people mention Vegapunk, and I think Vegapunk could be a very good shout. I do, however, don't understand Queen's motivations at the moment, because Queen is saying that she's gonna drown both Kamazu, aka Killer, and Kid if Luffy, unless Luffy loses, in which case he would die. So it's basically a who dies first. But of course, as everything is happening, as everything is going on, you hear one thing, and it's not wedding cake this time, no, but it is still Big Mom, and she is here. She is looking for food. We don't know whether she's in a rage mode exactly. That could just be a shading tactic and a cliffhanger tactic. We'll see exactly, if she's in that state of mind, that we usually see her in or not. We didn't also see where Chopper and the rest was, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how it all boils down. There's one other thing that happened, but I don't think we should really pay too much attention to it, and that is that Queen blocked Luffy's punch. I don't think there is much to it, in all honesty, because I think, quite frankly, Luffy with Sea Stone, handcuffs and whatnot, he's weakened. But some may say, oh, Queen is very, very strong. I don't think there's really much to infer from that, because quite frankly, I think anyone could have stopped Luffy. Anyone that is anyone could have stopped Luffy in that situation, quite frankly. So that's just my thoughts on the chapter. Overall, a very, very good chapter, following the very, very good chapter that we had last time with 943. I think, honestly, quite frankly, that the way this has been going, I feel like maybe another 2 to 3 chapters, and then we'll have Act 2 finished. But it's going to be quite interesting to see how, obviously, Big Mom plays into all of this, because, if she is in her state, then this could be very, very, very big troubles. But if she's not, then it could go in an interesting way. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go, but I feel like no matter what, it's going to be a lot of fun, because these last few chapters have been a lot of fun, and we'll see where the story is heading next. Overall, I would give this chapter probably a 8.5 out of 10. Very, very good chapter. With a lot of great reveals and a lot of great information. Obviously, Zoro and Kyoshiro going in, potentially setting up things for the future. We don't know how exactly, Kyoshiro plans into all this, because he does protect the Shogun, but we can all pretty much safely assume that he's betrayed the Shogun. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how it plays out. We've also not had a single retainer or red scabbard look at Kyoshiro, so we don't know whether they recognize him or not. There's a lot of little things happening here and there that it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, essentially. But that's just my thoughts. What about you lot? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, people, until next time, peace out and have a nice day.